Nancy Eke-Agu is a supply chain professional with 10 years of experience in the private sector. In this time frame, she has practiced in a variety of roles ranging from project management, strategic sourcing and negotiations, category management, contract management, and administration. Also, she's very experienced in supplier governance and supplier performance management. All of this within the information technology sector. She is currently working with the Halifax Regional Municipality as a project manager. She's constantly reaching for more. She brings our best and A game every time. Nancy has a degree in urban and regional planning, a PMP certification from the Project Management Institute, United States of America, and a certificate in contract law from the prestigious Harvard University. Wow. She's also a member of the PMI Institute, as well as a member of the PMI local chapter in Nova Scotia, Canada, where she resides with her family.
I dressed up, looking very good, wore my heels, wore my suit, printed my resumes, 20 of them. And I said, today I'm going to walk the entire stretch of Adeolodeku, Victoria Island, Lagos at the time. And I know that before I'm done sharing 20 resumes, one person will call me, and so I sort of set up that morning, dropped, highlighted the bus where I was going to drop and then entered each office. Sometimes I couldn't get past the security guys because, they couldn't let me see the front desk or they just take my resume and say, okay, we'll send it in and all. And so I remember getting to this building, really it contained over 20 offices. It was about a 10-story building right on Adeolodeku Street in VI, then Sapetro Town. And at this time, I had walked from the beginning of Adeolodeku all the way to the end, and then I stood there wondering where I would start entering this offices because it was a very massive 10-story building. And while I was there, lost in my thoughts and calculating where do I enter, what do I say, I only had like 10 resumes left and it looked like they had more than 10 companies here. And someone just asked me, what are you looking for? And I turned and I saw him. He was actually dressed in overalls, with a lot of grime and oil, on him, And when I got to Canada, I came with that same mentality that one resume fits all the jobs. And so I was in for a very big surprise because when I started in that manner, I realized that nobody was calling me. And you would, in fact, sometimes after I had, applied for this job, after 2 weeks, they would advertise the position again. And I'm like, I think that they're not seeing my resume or, all that. But that was because I was working with the wrong mentality that I could use every resume, one resume to apply for 10,000 jobs. And that the longer your resume was, the more experienced or the more equipped or the more, which word do I use right now, the more you would be looked at as someone who had, a wide range of experiences. But for me, that was one thing I discovered, rather painfully. And so when I began to make amends, in the sense that for everything that was mentioned in the job description, you had to target your resume.
We will say, you know what, Canadians discriminate, for entering professional. At the end of the day, what story are you telling yourself? Because that story you are telling yourself, that's your belief system.
And that's so true, because I actually at some point began to think that way. And considering the fact that, I was coming from a place where all I needed to do was send my CV, send my resume, and, I got the job right after. And I was coming to a place where you guys say you want immigrants now. Here I am. And so why are you selecting people? All that. So I began to have a biased mindset that, why are you hoarding these jobs are there? So I sent my resume, and then after 2 weeks, you advertise it again.
How were you able to break into the industry? Because I understand that this will probably be your first supply chain related role, is it? So yes. How did you get to break into the industry?
You give them a level of comfort that okay, it appears she's on the right path. And then I did the interview, and I was thankfully able to land the role. But it was foremost because of the fact that I was able to expand, my professional.
If you are listening and you're concerned about job search, career development in Canada, or even entrepreneurship, go to my YouTube, Abiodun. You will see a lot of resources there. And if you do, make sure you subscribe. It helps me. It encourages me